Hmm, a new Red Eyes Max. Let's see what it actually does here. Hmm, okay. Hmm. This card is absolute trash. What were they thinking about making it? Come on, bro, you're blind. This card is clearly broken. Just look at it. Dude, you're being delusional. What universe are you living in? Well, you can't know a good card if it slapped you in the face. Same to you, except you can't even read. Have you been in this situation yourself and asked, how can I know which side is correct? Hi, I'm Better M than you. With my patent pending brain enlargement pills, you can understand cardboard 20% more efficiently. Just sign up below and use code GIGABRAIN for 50% off your first purchase. Often in card game communities, card analysis is a skill marred in heated discussion. As debates rage on and on, newcomers can find it very difficult to sift through the noise and get an actual measure of a card. That's why in this video, I'll go over some key principles you can apply to better inform your own opinion and judgment when it comes to card reviews, with rush context when appropriate. Here's the cheat sheet if you want to get a quick start. Let's start with the goal. When you include cards in a deck list, they should serve a general purpose towards achieving your intended goal. A win con, game plan, or even a little bit of funny combos. If your intention is to enable a controlled playstyle, then a card that only gains attack for battle doesn't contribute meaningfully. Likewise, if you want to make an aggressive deck, if you run cards that are halted by your opponent simply having one response, then they fail at achieving your plan. So remember, don't just focus on what a card does, consider what it does in the context of your goal. Second, efficiency. There's a concept in card games known as card economy. It sounds more complicated than what it actually is. Simply put, it's the idea of how many cards you spend to achieve a play. For example, a tribute monster is typically a 3 card investment, 2 for the tributes and 1 for the card itself. As such, when examining what a card does, understanding how many resources you will spend to enable it is paramount to getting a sense for how efficient your deck flows. In Rush, starting your turn with 5 cards after emptying your hand, the more efficient your cards are, the easier it is to mount a comeback or seal the deal on a victory. Third, probability. This is where some mathematics are involved. And while there are resources to help you understand the actual raw values at how likely you are to draw specific cards or hands, unfortunately, that is typically ignored during discussions. So, to help get this point across, I'll speak in general terms. If you want to summon your flashy monster, then playing as many cards that contribute to summoning or seeing it increases your odds. If you just run 3 copies and no additional means of filtering through your deck, recovering it from the graveyard, the less capable you are at using the card. Thus, when you see any card, ask yourself, how many different ways can I reach it? The more cards required to use it, the less likely it occurs. Rush is unique in this regard, as the continuous draws every turn heavily favor smaller ratios, as do the continuous summons. However, I must stress, do not rely on this as a crutch. One singular card in your deck list does not make a whole strategy. Lastly, and often the hardest for newcomers, is context. Context is a broad idea and involves many different aspects of a card game, like the overall card pool, what the current metagame is like, what sort of matches or tournaments do you play. While you can choose to ignore context and evaluate a card in a vacuum, the reality of a situation demands you to be informed and up to date. So, what's the solution to a lack of context? Well, you gotta put in some effort. Read more. Discuss productively with others. actually play games and matches in common scenarios, not just doing test hands or singleton games. You have to be open minded while also critically thinking about your own personal goals. With all that in mind, you should be able to now more reliably understand how a card is good or bad by yourself. If you have any additional questions, comment below or ask others. If you need assistance with additional context, or you want an easy and inviting place for rush discussion, I invite you to join me in the Witch's Kitchen Discord server. We have plenty of passionate people, and we run tournaments all the time so you can apply the skills I just taught you in those. I look forward to seeing you all succeed, and I'll catch you on the next one.